This changes everything. The federal government is removing 3 massive barriers to the first home guarantee scheme that has been locking people out. No more wait lists, no more income caps, and price limits that actually make sense. Starting October 1st, Brisbane jumped from $700,000 to $1 million. Think about it. Every property between $700,000 and $1 million just became accessible to thousands of home buyers. Overnight, that's a massive opportunity, and it's also going to set these property markets on fire as demand just goes through the roof. I'm going to show you which suburbs in Brisbane are about to explode and why you've got a narrow window to get in.
Welcome to the Buying Your First Home podcast, your personal guide through the Australian housing market. Here we tackle the big questions and the small details that come up when buying your first home. From financial prep to finding the right neighbourhood, we're here to ensure that you've got all the knowledge at your fingertips. So let's take the first step towards unlocking the door to your new home.
So for some quick context, the home guarantee scheme lets you buy with just a 5% deposit and skips the lender's mortgage insurance. That's saving about 28 grand on a typical Brisbane home. Until now, it's been capped, restricted, and honestly, not that useful if you're wanting to buy an actual home in the suburbs. But the changes rolling out in 2025 make for massive changes. But with these changes, you've got way more options. So which suburb is going to go up the most? I've had a look at every suburb in southeast Queensland, and there's definitely a sweet spot emerging between $830,000 and $900,000. These were the suburbs that were out of reach before, but now they're actually really well positioned for first home buyers. Let me show you the 5 suburbs that I think are going to go absolutely crazy over the next 12 months. First up, there's Fitzgibbon at $849,000. It's got a demand score of 60 with vacancy rates near zero. Fitzgibbon is a master plan community with parks, walking trails, schools, and properties here are selling fast and stock is pretty tight. So generally it means prices only go in one direction. Next is Durack at $861,000. It's a pretty established suburb with everything at your doorstep. There's Forest Lake shopping centres, schools, the works. It's shown some pretty consistent long-term growth because families actually want to live there. If you're looking for more a lifestyle property, check out Woody Point at $894,000. Bayside living, you got weekend markets, the jetty that Instagrammers just love, and you're buying waterside property in Brisbane for under $1 million. That's not going to stay around for long. My biggest contrarian pick of the bunch, which some people are going to love and some people are going to hate, is Inala at $866,000. While people have been stepping past because they thought it wasn't that nice or had issues in the past, it's actually transformed a lot. It's only 15 minutes to the CBD, massive cultural diversity, and it's posted double-digit property growth over the last few years. This is where a lot of smart buyers are going before all the gentrification catches up. Another suburb you need to check out is Tegum at $831,000. It's actually the fastest selling suburb on the list. Properties are selling in just 25 days. When houses move that quick, it means locals know something outsiders don't. There's a train station, a shopping centre, an established community, everything a young family needs. But I know they sound like numbers and you're probably like, nah, I'm sure it's not that busy. Well, let me give you a story. I spoke to Sarah and James a couple of months ago. They had combined incomes of $180,000. They had good jobs, pretty stable income, and they've been saving for a solid 3 years. When I spoke to them earlier in the year, they were locked out. Their $50,000 deposit wasn't enough to buy a home that they wanted for under $700,000. But come October, that 5% deposit plus a little bit for stamp duty gets them into Fitzgibbon or Tegum. No mortgage insurance, and they're suddenly shopping around for a home with a backyard. And here's the thing, multiply that by hundreds or tens of thousands of couples, and you can see why some of these suburbs prices are going to get pressed upwards. But you might be wondering how it all works. Well, I kind of skipped ahead of it, but I do have some videos on the first home guarantee scheme. So this is the scheme where you only need a 5% deposit. So on an $800,000 home, you only need $40,000 in savings, 5%, instead of $160,000. For most first home buyers, it's the difference between being able to buy now or saving for the next 15 years straight. On top of that, you skip paying lender's mortgage insurance. So in that scenario, you're saving $28,000 in lender's mortgage insurance. It's nuts. But here's also the catch. If an $800,000 home, like that one I was talking about, goes up 10%, then that's an extra $80,000 in costs you have to pay to buy that same home. And suddenly that savings of lender's mortgage insurance gets eaten up by the price growths. Think of it like kind of filling up your car. You've got a coupon that saves you 10 cents a litre, but then fuel prices jump 20 cents a litre and suddenly you're paying more overall. Your savings just disappear. And remember, suburbs sitting just under the $1 million mark, once they tip over, they're completely out of the scheme. It can't be over $1 million. From what we've seen from historic schemes, my take on this is if you're in a position to buy and you're looking to get in, you probably want to look sooner rather than later. So you might be wondering, with all that, what are the action steps? Well, first, I definitely recommend getting pre-approved now. You don't need to wait till October. You can get moving sooner than that to start to have all your ducks in a row and be ready to make offers on places. Second is pick your suburbs and start visiting. Not only online, just actually drive there. Grab a coffee in Woody Point on a Sunday. Check out Inala's transformation. There's some really good Vietnamese shops down Biota Road. Awesome. And even Fitzgibbon's community, because when October hits, the reality is there's going to be more demand and not more supply. More properties aren't unfortunately getting built, but it's going to allow a lot more home buyers to get into this price bracket. Third thing to think about is set your limit and try and stick to it. FOMO is real, and don't let competition push you into dangerous territory. So the reality is the Australian dream isn't getting easier, but the rules are changing, and for once they're actually changing in favour of first home buyers. The question is, are you going to be ready for this opportunity? Drop a comment. Which Brisbane suburb are you targeting? So until next time, I'll see you later.